Good morning, everyone. So today I want to talk about, will people be able to retire on their 401k? Um, and so this is strictly my opinion, and this is not, financial advice by any means. Just a random YouTuber who uh, has a 401k, has other passive income streams, and a lot of different investments. When it comes to the 401k, a lot of people used to look at that as a lifeline for retirement. It used to be a symbol of prosperity. It used to be an indicator amongst your peers whether or not you'll be able to retire on time. In the society that we live in today, the 401k has allowed most Americans to not necessarily think about how to sustain themselves, how to sustain their future, right? A lot of people don't understand how much they're paying in taxes, why and what their taxes are going towards. A lot of people don't understand what they're invested in their 401k, why they're invested in that specific stock or company. And so it leads to a lot of financial uneducation, right? They're not inept. They don't know what they're doing. And, for the people watching a YouTube channel or reading a book on 401ks, on financial education, that is allowing you to be one step ahead. You see, although I'm young, I've dedicated the larger part of my adult years thus far to continuous learning, to financial education, to understanding how and why I should be devoted to getting into a better position, getting all my eggs out of one basket and diversifying further. In that understanding, you realize what's actually happening in our economy, what constantly is needed to be done in order to secure financial freedom for most Americans today. In fact, most Americans would not be financially secure without our government, without the continuous taxpayer dollars going towards Social Security. And at this moment, most people don't know that Social Security is supposed to end in 2032, right? It's supposed to end in 2032. What does that mean? Well, that means that without government intervention, a lot of people would not be able to retire on their 401k alone. You see, you need $3.9 million today to retire. And a lot of people in their 401ks would barely touch $1 million. So where do you expect to get the $2 million from? Places like California, New York, and Miami, Florida, they typically are renters and not owners of homes. So now you're still paying higher and higher rents as you lean into your retirement years. How do you afford those higher rents? Another thing is, this is a little political, but the government itself will typically debate facts and debate topics that will lead to an increase in spending. There's always, every single year, a push for increase in spending. And it doesn't matter whether they're Republican or Democrat, they all want your money. No matter what it is, they want your money and they will find a reason to get it, right? So now the big push is that we've all paid Social Security taxes for the entirety of our working years. Are we going to get that in retirement, right? And so now there's a big push to increase taxes, increase spending in order to secure Social Security for more Americans later on in life. There's a reason why. There's a reason why spending continuously needs to be increased for Social Security and for everything else that we've been spending money on since the beginning of time. It's because the government mismanages our money, and the more and more we give them, the more and more they will continue to mismanage it. They're the only group of people who get a raise every single year and continue to mismanage that raise every single year. You see, when you don't work hard for your money, when you don't work hard for what you've achieved, you don't have to think about how you spend it, how you budget it. You simply start to lose it. You start to throw it around willy-nilly. You start to not really care what you do with your finances, And so when you put someone else in control of your tax dollars, you'll find that they'll just throw it around like, oh yeah, we can put something here, we can put something there, and then it's all gone and we still have things to do, right? So essentially that's what's going to happen. What I believe is personally going to happen is that the government will raise taxes. That will increase how much we spend on Social Security. They'll try to attack the rich who don't pay taxes anyway. And so we're going to be in more debt because they're attacking a group of people that they're actually a part of. The government is rich. Most people within the political spectrum are all millionaires. In fact, every single one of them that hold a seat is a millionaire. I believe the lowest in terms of wealth has about $24 million. So do you think that the political groups, that the government groups are interested in taking money away from themselves? Well, the answer to that is no, right? There's not a president in the last 20 years that is not a multimillionaire, right? And yet yet every year as a president, you make $400,000 a year. And so, right, where are they making their money? They're making their money from political campaigns. They're making money from public speaking. They're making money from books. They're making money from the stock market, manipulating the stock market, all those things, right? Nancy Pelosi's husband is the chairman of the stock market, and they made 69% return, more than any logical investor would ever make. Someone who dedicates their entire life to that could not pull off a 69% return. My best years, I think I did about 28%. My best year in 7 years, right? So, again, they're not in the business of making tax loopholes non-loopholes, right? They're going to continue to allow these loopholes because they're also benefiting from it. And so what's going to happen is we're just going to be in more and more debt. We're not going to get the tax dollars, but we'll be in more and more debt. And that's just going to increase our bill to neighboring countries, increase our bill for everything that we do, increase our spending. And until that supply is cut off, we will continuously be in more debt. Until we're not having initiatives to pay for new things and just initiatives to pay off things, we will continue to be in more and more debt. With that being said, I believe that history will continue to repeat itself and that we will increase spending in order to extend Social Security, but it won't be done prior to 2026, 2027. It won't be done in this presidency, and it probably won't be done in the next presidency, just because, you know, people like to wait. People like to apply pressure on others, and eventually everybody caves in at the last minute. And Social Security will be available for a little bit longer until it is just a ridiculous amount and it really needs to shut off the water. But most people in the next 20 years will probably be able to retire off of their 401k and Social Security alone. Right now, they're just putting pressure. Right now, they're just making you a little scared, a little terrified of what your future holds for you. But personally, my opinion, it might be a little controversial. Although I've paid my fair share of taxes and fair share of Social Security, I believe that they should just cut off that water completely, and that, yes, I won't get Social Security in my older years, in my later years, but if we continue to be financially literate, we will be all right. And that's what the government doesn't want. They don't want you financially literate, right? They don't want you to be educated. They don't want you to be non-dependent on them. And so many Americans are so dependent on them. And so in order to keep you dependent, they need to keep that money coming in. And so that's another reason why I believe Social Security will continue, because so many people are dependent on the government for life, literally. And so if you like this video, if you like this topic, if you want to know more on how to not be dependent on the government, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.